In Unit 6 of Hospitality Studies, we will look at the food service industry. The objectives for this unit are to investigate the motivations for eating out, to identify the factors in the meal experience, to be introduced to the UK Hospitality Standard Industrial Classification or SIC, to understand the different sectors of the food service industry, to investigate the different types of food service, to detail and appraise the different food service and production methods, to investigate legislation in the industry and licensing, and to discuss trends within the food service sector. The topics we will cover: the food service industry, who eats out and why, standard industrial classification, restaurants contract catering and employee feeding, legislation and health and safety, and the future of the industry. The food service industry. Food service has developed into a huge industry. The number and type of eating out establishments has increased tremendously as suppliers constantly try to satisfy the changing demands and tastes of the market. In the UK alone, there are approximately 300,000 catering outlets contributing £43 billion to the UK economy. Most towns and cities across the world offer a variety of eating establishments with different themes and dishes to satisfy the needs of an increasingly knowledgeable and demanding population. Who eats out and why? Smith identified 43 different reasons why people eat out, but he stated 6 basic reasons why people eat away from their homes: convenience, variety, labour, status, culture, tradition, and impulse. What are factors in the meal experience? Food, service, cleanliness and hygiene, decor, lighting, air conditioning, furnishing, acoustics, room proportion, price, and clientele. What are the types of food service or catering? Shopping malls, airports, food courts, transport by rail, air or marine, employee dining, fine dining, accommodation, so that's in hotels, motels, guest houses and hostels, ethnic restaurants such as Chinese, Japanese, French, Malaysian or Caribbean, and welfare catering in hospitals, healthcare, prisons and the military. Outside catering, themed restaurants such as Hard Rock Cafe or Planet Hollywood, leisure, so museums, theme parks, theatres and cinemas, ethnic chains, Wagamama, Bombay Bicycle, Yo Sushi and Nando's, restaurants such as bistros, brasseries, coffee shops, cafeterias, wine bars and public houses, roadside restaurants, private clubs, cafes and sandwich bars. We have street vendors, fast food chains such as McDonald's, Subway, KFC or Wendy's, educational institutions, schools, colleges, universities, supermarkets, food retail, and leisure at museums, theme parks, theatres and cinemas. Catering type. The restaurant industry is made of many different themed speciality restaurants. They may vary as well in the type of service they offer: fast food or gourmet dining. They are priced accordingly, with quick service restaurants offering a low price, mid-scale offering, value and comfort, and upscale outlets offering experience, style and ambience at a high price. Motorway and roadside. These establishments can be found out of town, on motorways and roadsides, and generally provide a mix of catering outlets selling meals, snacks and refreshments for people travelling by car, coach or lorry. Licensed trade. These are public houses or pubs. Many establishments licensed for the sale of drinks for consumption generally on the premises, such as bars, clubs and pubs, have in recent years begun to offer catering in the form of snacks, such as sandwiches and bar meals. Many larger establishments, such as chain pubs, have a separate dining area where a full menu is on offer, including starters, main courses and desserts. Fast food and takeaways. Fast food and takeaways serve people in a hurry. Worldwide, the industry is huge. In the United States alone, industry sales were worth around $142 billion. Employee feeding. Ancillary facilities can be seen as a benefit or perk and regarded as a differentiating factor among companies wishing to attract a good calibre of staff. Employee feeding, whether by self-operated facilities or contracted services, can take different forms depending on the size and type of the organisation. These include automatic vending machines selling hot and cold drinks, confectionery and snacks, sandwiches and meals, both hot and cold. A trolley service, so tea trolleys, once a very popular service, delivering mid-morning or afternoon tea and coffee to employees at their workplace or station. Cafeteria, so in-line or straight line, a single counter where food is displayed from starter through to dessert and drinks, and customers push their trays to the till at the end of the counter. Free flow, different counters offering different food items, and carousel, rotating shelves where customers help themselves to food offerings. Welfare catering, the provision of meals for those unable to feed themselves and generally includes food service in education, healthcare and social care and prisons. Travel catering. This is catering which can be found on aircraft, ships and trains. Outside and social catering. This catering is provided at events such as fêtes and exhibitions, can be divided into two types: contracted and speculative functions. Contracted catering provided for a specified and agreed number of customers. Speculative, contracted to provide refreshment on a site for people attending a particular event, such as a sporting event, for example, the Wimbledon Tennis Championship or Grand Prix motor racing. Hotel food service, coffee shop, restaurant, fine dining, bar, lounge, executive lounge, conference and banqueting, outside catering, room service, minibar and employee dining. There are various types of restaurants. We have independent restaurants. These are owned by individuals such as a family, and despite the large number of chain restaurants, Jones identifies that restaurants tend to be owned by individuals and individualists. Chain restaurants. Chain restaurants are normally big brands that have standard menus, design, name, with all the outlets very similar in layout and design following a particular theme. Chain restaurants are either franchises, where an individual owns the restaurant and pays the franchisor, the big company, to use the fittings, name, menu, etc., and management companies. That is companies that run and own a number of restaurants. Franchises. These are generally associated with the big brand names in the catering industry, with many fast food outlets owned and controlled in this manner. Individuals or franchisee may own and run the restaurant, but they pay to use the name, etc. of the franchisor. In a survey conducted by Walker in 1989, the major benefits perceived by franchisors from international expansion were related to financial, market or general growth. What are the benefits by franchisors. We have additional growth and expansion, added revenues and profits, improved return on investment or direct financial gain, larger market, more market penetration, increased market share, international identity and greater recognition. What are the drawbacks for franchisors? They have a lack of control, difficulty in supporting franchisees, cost and expense involved, distance and possible time difference. Fast food and takeaways. Definitions of the fast food industry are product-based and generally have 4 features. Perishability, that is, the life of the product is very short. It could be minutes or hours. Fast product finishing. This means the time from placing the order to the customer consuming the product is very short. It varies depending on the restaurant and type of food ordered, but it should be between 2 and 15 minutes if ordered on site. Some restaurants even promote standards so that if you do not receive your food in a set time, say 10 minutes, you can have it for free. Hand or fingers held products. Most fast food can be eaten without cutlery and if necessary on the move, for example while walking. Fast food will also have a low selling price. Generally, fast food is cheap compared with other types of restaurants. The main features of the fast food chain restaurant. We have tangible elements. Food and drink, so we have a limited menu, consistent quality, equally portioned, and low prices. Secondary items such as newspapers, children's activities or party wear. Physical environment, clean, bright, modern, carefully laid out. Packaging will be disposable, easy to handle, and will maintain the temperature of the food. Intangible elements. Personal contact, so staff-customer contact, is technology-led and brief. Service delivery, you can eat on the premises, take away, drive through, or delivered to the customer. Promotion, value for money, emphasis on promoting to children, links with kids' films, characters. Outlet atmosphere, you will find bright colours, plants, music, corporate identity will be prominent. The location will be convenient by foot or car and will be very accessible. The emotions of the customer aim to satisfy with an offer. And post-transaction service. Complaints, satisfaction is a key feature, especially of the bigger brands. Contract catering and employee feeding. Contract catering is concerned with catering companies providing food and refreshments for organisations which prefer to outsource their catering operations, such as staff meals. Non-commercial food service operation normally operates in other facilities where providing food and beverage is not the primary mission. Characteristics of non-commercial operations. Non-commercial institutions hire commercial food service management or contract companies from outside to manage food service in their institutions. Commercial food service management companies exist to make profit. They carry out fully the food and service responsibilities for the institutions under contract. The institution or workplace can free itself from the day-to-day concern of managing food service operations. Non-commercial operations are normally large-scale and are delivered at particular times of the day. Business levels are quite predictable, making it easier for production and planning. The sectors that normally require contract catering would include business and industry, education, the military, healthcare, prisons and transportation. An organisation or client signs a contract with a catering company for a set period of time to provide a set number of meals within that organisation. Many different organisations have varying needs for their in-house catering, therefore a number of contracts are available. An executive lease. The contract catering company provides an executive who directs the catering operation, overseeing the catering staff, which is provided by the client in-house. The executive guides and advises the in-house staff in the provision of catering within the company. Management. The catering firm provides all the catering for the company, including on-site staff, but facilities and equipment are provided in-house by the client. An invoice is submitted to the client at the end of each month, detailing the expenditure and income of the operation. Fixed price. This is a set price normally for a whole year. Concession. A contractor takes on a contract to provide the catering in an organisation. The contractor performs all the catering operations and all the expenditures are the concern of the contractor, and any profits made are retained by the contractor. Fees. Fees are set in a number of ways. A set annual figure on a monthly or weekly basis, a percentage of takings or costs, and a per meal charge. Legislation and health and safety. Reporting injuries, diseases and dangerous occurrences. This regulation came into being in 1996 and requires accidents, diseases and dangerous occurrences in businesses to be reported and recorded. Control of substances hazardous to health. All staff working in the catering industry have to be aware of dangerous substances which can be found in chemicals. These chemicals, which can be found in cleaning products, are labelled very toxic, toxic, irritant or corrosive, and all staff must be aware of the dangers of using these products. The Health and Safety at Work Act 1974. This act has two main aims: to extend the coverage and protection of the law to all employees and employers, to increase awareness of safety among those at work, both employers and employees. Food Labelling Regulations 1984-1999. The name of the food and list of ingredients must appear on the label. An indication of shelf life or a use-by date must be clearly visible. Any special storage conditions have to be specified. Conditions of use. The name and address of the manufacturer, packer or seller. The Food Safety and General Food Hygiene Regulations 1995. To operate hygienically, premises must be kept clean and in good repair. Food handlers must be trained in food hygiene matters. Further acts and regulations: the Food Safety Act 1990, the Food Safety General Food Hygiene Regulations 1995, Food Safety Temperature Control Regulations 1995, and the Food Premises Registration Regulations 1997. Food production. Food production is the method chosen by the organisation to produce the food for the customer. Food production methods. The conventional method. Food is prepared by chefs in the kitchen using traditional techniques such as grilling, steaming, frying, and roasting. This method is used in most small, independent, and high-class restaurants. Centralized. Centralized food production is when the food is produced in bulk off-site. The method is frequently adopted by large chains that are looking to outsource all or part of their food production. Some large chains have their own CPUs, while others may use other food production companies. Sous vide. In the sous vide method of food production, foods are prepared and cooked as normal, but then portioned into individual plastic bags, chilled and reheated when ordered. Cook chill. This is a catering system based on normal preparation and cooking of food, followed by rapid chilling storage in controlled low temperature conditions above freezing point, from 0 to 3 degrees Celsius, and subsequently reheating immediately before consumption. The chilled food is regenerated in finishing kitchens, which require low capital investment and minimum staff. Almost any food can be cooked, chilled, provided that the correct methods are used during preparation. Cook freeze. This method is similar to cook chill, apart from the refrigeration temperatures. Cook freeze is a specialized food production and distribution system that allows caterers to take advantage of the longer life of blast freezing at 18 to 200 degrees Celsius and stored at that temperature until required for resale or consumption for up to 3 to 6 months. Blast freezers have increasingly been introduced with success into catering operations. Trends in food service and production. Vegetarianism. Around 5% of the UK population are vegetarian. Organic food. Consumers increasingly demand food that is healthy, organic, and produced without any artificial additives. Exotic. Consumers increasingly enjoy more exotic foods from areas such as Japan, China, Thailand, and India. Healthier options. Increasing obesity levels are leading consumers to be more health conscious. Fair trade. The fair treatment of food producers along the food chain, with emphasis on fair ethical treatment and payment. Frequently, the fair trade term is visible when producing coffee and fruits from developing economies. Food miles. The total mileage that food travels from plough to plate. Many foods now available in the West are produced and imported from far distant countries. Although this provides a good range of products accessible all year round, certain groups are concerned about the environmental impacts of transporting food for long distances. Another consideration is that often the foods being imported are produced locally in the country of importation. Carbon footprints. This is the total set of greenhouse gas emissions consumed by the company or product during its production. Environmental concerns. Food service operators are starting to take a closer look at their energy usage within their operations with reference to the impact on the environment. Greater transparency. There is a growth in consumers wanting to see greater transparency in relation to knowing where the food served has come from and how it has been produced. Also known as food provenance, which details information of how the food has travelled from farm to fork. Outsourcing. The industry is seeing a growing trend in hotels outsourcing their food and beverage to other branded formats. This provides guaranteed monthly rental income for the hotel and provides in-house customers with a more familiar brand. Obesity. The UK is currently experiencing an obesity epidemic and is amongst the most overweight population in Europe. A person is classed as obese where their weight has reached a point where it can seriously damage their health. Food service operators are attempting to respond to this issue by offering healthier options on menus. Outsourcing. Outsourcing is a relatively new trend in food and beverage. More hotels are realizing that their own restaurants are unprofitable. The reason for this is that many residents prefer to dine out in food and beverage branded outlets that are known to them. In response to this, an emerging trend is for hotels to form a partnership with a restaurant brand that operates from a designated area within the hotel. This trend is also being seen with bar and coffee chains operating outlets within hotel premises.